Hello everyone, I am David Blanco from Colombia, part of the Graduate School of Engineering.
And I'm Evdon Sikat, also from the Graduate School of Engineering, and I'm from the Philippines.
And join us today when we will go inside the museum to discover one of the best kept secrets in all Hokkaido University. We'll have the opportunity to explore a little bit of what happens inside these walls.
Yes, and what's interesting about the museum, David, is that its purpose is actually not only for exhibition, but for the purpose of collecting specimens, for the purpose of research.
Exactly, and the museum, it actually is located, let me show in the map. We are just right here. This is on a pond, so you can see right across the central cafeteria. We're just here. So, let's go in.
Let's go. So now we're entering the museum.
Now the museum is open mostly all of the days until 4 p.m. You can find many accessories for shopping as well, right here. And what is more important is that it's free to the public. Everyone can come in. Now join me around this corner. As we come into one of the permanent exhibitions.
Yes.
Here.
So actually, since its establishment in 1876, scientists from the university actually have collected plenty of items for their research. This has led a great number of materials available in each faculty of the university. These artifacts were stored in each heart of faculty.
However, these artifacts were not accessible to a wider audience. So in 1999, it was decided to store all of the items under a single roof, more than 4 million items.
Yes, that's correct. And the museum has under its task the proper classification and preservation of the artifact it contains. By maintaining them in good condition, it is possible for future generations to be able to use them for their own research. And not only that, their use might come from a novel of perspective, even from a different discipline. Actually, many times, it is not known how the objects will be used.
That's right. The museum also holds 3 permanent exhibitions. The history that we are in now, another thematic exhibitions where all the front line of Hokkaido University research is exhibited, and also the academic exhibition of specimens, which holds some of the specimens that we have been stored for all of these years. Together they try to inspire on the visitor some courage, some pertainance of the university and of the country.
Yes, that's correct, David. And additionally, the museum promotes the dissemination of scientific knowledge to a wider audience through educational projects such as exhibitions, seminars, or similar activities. So let's go now to the second floor so that we can visit this
We will
exhibition.
meet a new exhibition.
Yes, so
Let's go.
So, as you can see here, some of the very important persons, I think, when this museum and when this school is being built. And right there, as you can see, is the motto of Clark, Dr. Clark, I believe.
Boys be ambitious.
Yes.
Let's go all the way.
Yes.
Here, although it's close, it's of Suzuki Sensei's Nobel Prize.
Yes. I think the plaque for the
Nobel celebration.
Yes.
Now let's go upstairs, second floor. Many specimens are stored in the hallways, as you can see. And now we come.
It's one of the exhibitions we're talking about.
Okay, so now we are in front of one of the latest exhibitions called Communication in the Arctic, SAMI Across the Borders. This exhibition is part of the program of the university Reshaping Japan's Border Studies, part of the global COE program. This exhibition has been held the program has established around 6 exhibitions. The thematic of the exhibitions have had something in common, which is borders. Traditionally, the word borders, what you can
I think border is something like a division between
Exactly. So the word borders actually represents the difference between states, right? The borderline.
So,
But actually the word has a lot of potential of use. For example, borders in literature,
Yes.
borders in language, borders in everyday life. So the Center for Ainu and Indigenous Studies of Hokkaido University had participated in some of these exhibitions. And being part of it,
yes.
the anthropologist and researcher Martina Tiriseva, actually from her own experience with the northern indigenous Sami people of Europe, realized that the way they live actually matches with the border concept. So that's where the idea of this exhibition was born. So let's go take a look and we come back together to you.
Yes. Now we will show you the product of this collaboration. And on this first part of the exhibition, as you can see, is actually the traditional cultural objects being exhibited.
Exactly. For example, here we have some examples of clothing. We have the Inari Sami and we have the Skold Sami traditional dresses.
Okay. And as you can see here, I'm going to show you a drum, which belongs to a shaman. A shaman actually is a tribe's leader. So this drum actually represents the sun. And as you can see in the middle, the 4 lines flowing from it symbolizes the power of the sun. And around the representations of gods, humans, and animals.
And on this part we have the reindeer, in which all life, economy, and social life, all the culture, was built upon. Everything revolved on the herding of this animal.
Yes, that's correct, David. And as you can see here, the modern one is linked by the previous cultural one. And as you can see here, this is the lavu, which represents home, the unity between both worlds.
See, that's true. We can see the lavu, and we also can see a collection of the modern artifacts. It is particularly striking the fact that the magazines, the television, and the radio are produced entirely in Sami language.
Yes, and in many towns, education is offered in their native languages, so people maintain the connection with their traditions.
Martina's idea got the support from the Center of Ainu and Indigenous Studies, the Museum of Hokudai, and the museums of Shiraoi and Abashiri, where many of the items came from. In Finland, many actors showed the support, such as the Sida Museum from Inari, which brought some important items, as well as the Sami YLE radio.
Yes, that's correct, David. But that's not all. The collection combines the physical elements with the organization of 7 lectures, as you can see here, though it's in Japanese, but this is our schedule of lectures. And below it are actually the schedule of movies, Sami movies, which have Japanese subtitles for people to enjoy.
Well, as you can briefly see, there is a massive amount of work behind an exhibition. But through proper collaboration, Martina's idea got shape. So it's the museum, the researchers, and the indigenous collaboration that make this exhibition possible. It's only through this that applied research is done. So this opens the door for future opportunities to make exchange, to make cultural interaction, and to expand the border of communication.
Yeah, that's how important this museum is. And now let's go to the 3rd floor where 2 persons are actually waiting for us.
We have special guests for you.
Yes.
Come and join us.
Let's go. So now we're moving on to the 3rd floor.
Many specimens, many different types of specimens.
Yes.
I cannot imagine.
Wow. Wow, this one is an example of
This is the
brown bear Hokkaido, right?
Eso bear found in Hokkaido. This is the friend that you don't want to meet when you're hiking.
And if you've noticed, the building is actually designed in a neo-Gothic style, right?
Yeah, neo-Gothic. It was built in 1926.
Yes, and I believe neo-Gothic is actually a European style of building construction.
Exactly.
So moving on, we can see
Wow,
rocks.
we're entering a little of the world of rocks.
Yes. So probably right now you have a clue of what we will be showing you.
Exactly. So we go on. You can see so many types.
Yes, and suddenly it's a modern here. So now we reach a sample of an area of the building where some collections are being stored, and
This is the specimens room, specimens collection.
Yes.
We have some specimens of insects.
okay, so let's inside. Just to have an idea how the system works actually. When an item is stored, it is vital to classify it among specialized collections. So, for example, this vast collection of specimens here makes it one of the biggest type of collections among museums all over the world.
These items represent a state, a picture in history which cannot be reproduced.
Yes, and by representing this variety of specimens to young minds, they get encouraged to explore and expand their horizons, aiding in the growth of human culture and preparing the future minds of scientists.
That's right. Now, let's join us, to meet with Professor Yamamoto.
Yes.
Let's go.
So now we're going to be entering another section of the museum.
Another part of the specimens collection.
Yes. So you can see a lot of rocks, but you'll see more.
Not only rocks, we also have some examples of dinosaurs.
Yes.
You find here.
But the main focus of this section are actually rocks, which are more important.
Professor Yamamoto.
Good evening, Professor.
Good evening. Thanks for joining. Professor Yamamoto is a specialist in geology. His main interest is on deep derived rocks. Am I right?
Yeah.
Just as emerald?
No, diamond.
Diamond and emerald, no, diamonds.
My pleasure. Thanks for the invitation.
Thank you very much, Professor. Professor, to understand more a little about these rocks, so can you show us everything on this section and how many rocks are stored in this museum?
There are about 200,000 pieces of rocks.
I see. Wow.
Wow, 200,000 pieces?
Yeah.
Are they all coming from Japan or?
Mainly from Japan.
Really? Wow. Japan is such a small country for all of these rocks to come from it. Why is that?
Japan has a very complex geological history, so many different types of rocks were created.
Really, I see. So, what is the value of the collection of rocks here?
These are just like fossils of the Earth, so using the collection, we can examine the history of a planet from various angles.
Is there any rock that is more valuable than all of the others?
Good question. These are all invaluable pieces of planet, but these rock fragments from Toyoha mine could be valuable. Toyoha mine is located at only 30 kilometers west of the center of Sapporo City.
And Sensei, why is this rock so valuable?
These rock fragments include a large amount of indium. So Toyoha mine had been the world's largest indium mine, but unfortunately, it was closed in 2006.
I see. Indium. So, what's all about indium? Why is it so important?
Indium is widely used for computer, cell phone, and many other industrial products.
That's why this one is expensive.
So we consider that Toyoha mine still has long-term growth potential for future industrial use.
But you just said that the mine is closed.
Yeah.
So how can it have a much potential?
Okay. Although the Toyoha mine still has a lot of indium, and the temperature inside of the mine reach about 200 degrees C. So it making technically a huge challenge.
It makes a technical challenge, but it also makes a nice onsen, right?
Yes,
Yes,
that's
yeah.
correct. Japanese love onsen.
Yeah.
And when somebody wants to use this kind of specimen, so how do they do it?
Well, you can study resources at resource geology in science faculty or resource engineering in engineering faculty. And if you are from another faculty or outside Hokkaido, we don't have any problem in sharing these specimens.
Oh, that's very kind of you. And well, to sum it up, do you have some final words that you want to give to the camera, to the people watching you?
We tend to see rocks as resources or jewels, but these have an academic value. So rocks tell us the deep secret inside the earth. So we'll possibly receive a convincing answer to the most important question for us. Where did we come from? And furthermore, if the history of a planet is clarified, we can address another question. Where are we going?
Wow. I would love to hear that answer from the near future. Thank you very much, Sensei.
Very much, Professor.
Thank you very much.
And now we will meet another guest, the last guest of tonight. Join us.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Don't you feel scared being at midnight with all
Yeah,
of these dinosaurs?
it's kind of creepy, entering a museum, and it's just the two of us, of course, with the camera crew.
And with all the people that are watching, right?
Yes. So, moving on.
So here we are going to meet our final guest of tonight, Dr. Abe. Good night. Thank you very much for coming. Dr. Abe is specialized in phycology, which is the study of algae, right? Thank you for joining us. For the first time now, we will enter into the archives of the museum,
Never
where,
been shown
as you can
before.
see, not
Authorized personnel
not
only.
many people enter, right, from the
Yes.
public. And we will share some of the secrets that Dr. Abe has
So-
saved for us.
So,
Let's go.
Dr. Abe, please show us your best kept treasures here. So,
All of these walls have specimens,
Yes.
different kinds of specimens.
and now we're entering the part of the museum where only us can enter.
Privileged.
Privilege, yeah.
Wow. As you can see, there's a lock. There is a proper security. Thank you, Dr. Abe.
Let's go. Wow. So as you can see, there are lots of storage here. So I think the 4 million collections, right?
Yeah, some of the algae are coming here.
Yes.
All of these folders and catalogs have specimens of algae inside. He's going to show us a little surprise tonight.
We should watch for it.
So what is this, Dr. Abe?
これは北海道帝国大学の時代の、昆布の標本ですね。
So this is a specimen from 1894
Yes.
of an algae taken in Hokkaido. That's right.
Wow. 100 years.
So long time.
Yes. Really amazing.
Huh? Yes, incredible, incredible. But I want to ask you, Dr. Abe, how do you store this algae?
基本的にはこのように押し葉標本で全部保管してあるんですが、中にはこういうホルマリン漬けの標本っていうのも昔は使われていました。
Okay, so what Dr. Abe said is that there are two methods. One is by press on the algae. The second one is to use the formaldehyde to store it. However, with the discovery of the DNA, they found that the formaldehyde can destroy the specimens. Therefore, now only the pressing is used. That's right.
Yes, and Dr. Abe, if I may ask, I'm just curious. There are two missing parts here. Why is that?
これはですね、最近になって、別の研究者が、調べるために切り取った後
I
です
see.
ね。
So what Dr. Abe said that research group took fragments from the algae for study in 2010. So they keep track of the date the samples were actually removed.
And another question, Dr. Abe. Why do we need to preserve? Why is it so important to preserve?
まずはこの、一つ目の理由としては、こういう分類学の基本として後の研究者のために証拠標本として残しておくことですね。で、それが一番大事なんですけど、もう一つの理由として今のお話にあったように後の研究者が別の 使い道で、利用できるとかなんですね。で例えばですね、最近の研究なんですが、このようにですね、要素の同位対比を核実験の後と前で、調べるといったこういった研究にも使われていますね。
Very nice. What Dr. Rave said right now is that there are two main reasons why it's important. The first one is in taxonomy, when a new species comes, we need to compare it with the other previous species, right? So by comparison, we can detect if it's a new species or if it's part of the previous one. So we need to preserve a collection of specimens. And the second one is more interesting. Each of these specimens holds specific information of the interactions with their environment when they were taken. So he just showed us a paper in which they compare the two eras, before nuclear and after nuclear tests. And the graph that he just showed us, right here, compares the levels of iodine. And you can see that the levels were quite low before 1940 and dramatically increased after the tests. So if people want to study the samples, they need to go back in time to the samples taken before 1940 where the tests were taken. That's very interesting.
Very nice. Excellent. That's how important the collection of specimens are here.
Exactly.
So, thank you very much, Dr. Rave. So, with this short trip of the museum, I hope the audience can realize how important the collection of the specimens here and the museum in Hokkaido University itself.
And not only Hokkaido University, but all around the world, museums hold invaluable treasures. So let's go and visit them and let's learn a lot about them. I am David Blanco. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Navdon Sikat from the Philippines once again.
Thanks.
So
And
see you guys tomorrow.